and welcome back to By Myself But Not Alone. This is episode 14, Albany, New York. This show would be the final show on the second leg of our black ticket experience. At the end of our last episode, Mr. Bradley and I finished up our breakfast and we hit the road. I asked him if he wanted to run by and see Niagara Falls real quick. He said, nah, there's a bunch of guys meeting in Rochester for garbage plates. Now, I had no idea what a garbage plate was, so Rob explained it to me. Sounded real good. It's basically a bunch of side items piled on a plate. Baked beans, macaroni salad, French fries or tater tots, and then the meat goes on top and then sauce on top of that. I don't think it could be any more unhealthy, but that never stopped me before. I was told later that they originated in Rochester, but the idea pretty much spread throughout the area, and you can get a garbage plate at countless places, or at least a variation of one. I thought it sounded like a great idea, so we headed for Rochester. Even as much as I've always wanted to see Niagara Falls, if Rob hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have done it on that trip. I still had my Canadian Budweiser in the trunk, and I figured it would be just my luck that I'd make a wrong turn, and I'd end up having to cross the border and then come back, and I'd get caught up in something crazy like trying to smuggle Canadian beer back into Canada. So I wasn't going to the falls even if Rob hadn't been with me. So anyway, we're heading to the land of the garbage plate. Right when we got near the point where we would have to get off the interstate and head into Rochester, Rob got a text from one of the guys in the group, and it turns out they were all at Niagara Falls. So we decided to skip the garbage plate and head straight for Albany. We'd get there nice and early. We'd have plenty of time to screw around, get settled in our hotel, get ready, and make it to the pre-party that evening. Now, this is about as close to a regret as I had on the whole tour. I really don't like using the word regret, but I guess that's what it is. If I could go back in time, Rob and I would have gone to Rochester, even without the group. We would have gotten our garbage plate, but more importantly, we would have located 232 East Avenue. That's the building that was formerly Music America Studios, and as many of you probably know, that's where Kill 'Em All was recorded. We would have found that building and got a picture for the scrapbook. We were that close, and it didn't even cross my mind until we were almost in Albany. It's water under the bridge now, but I will make it back to Rochester, get my picture in front of the building, and I'll have a garbage plate while I'm there. So about 5 hours after we left Buffalo, we were in Albany. We found a hotel, got checked in, took everything in, got ready, and headed down to a place called the City Beer Hall. It was about a block or two behind the venue where we'd be the next night for the concert. It was a really cool place. There were a lot of Metallica fans there. There were some crew members there. Matt from CID was there. We met Ryan. That's the guy that I stayed with in Altoona. He was with Jen and Brian Balistreri. I finally got to meet them in real life. I'd known Brian for a little while on the internet, but I'd never met him in person. It was a great place. We had a lot of fun. The only problem was it closed pretty early. It was Sunday night. So somebody hopped on a phone and found another bar a couple blocks down, and we all walked down to the Excelsior Pub. Now, the Excelsior Pub was an old corner-style tavern. Small place, but it had everything inside we needed. It had pinball, it had Metallica on the jukebox, they had plenty of beer, and a really cool bartender named Jennifer. We hung out there for quite a while before we headed back to the hotel, and on our way out the door, Jennifer told us to come back the next night after the show, and she gave us an advanced special on a certain brand of beer. We told her we'd be back, and we'd bring a lot of people with us. The next morning, we got up pretty early and headed down to the Times Union Center. We didn't get there as early as Rob would have liked to, but that was part of the deal when he asked about hitching a ride to Albany. I told him there's no way in hell I'd be able to get up and have him down to the arena at his normal time. Rob is famous for being first in line at almost every show he goes to. He's usually there before the sun comes up. I told him I wasn't going to be able to do that, and he said, it's okay. We got down there a lot earlier than I normally do. There were a dozen or so people when we got there. He wasn't first in line, but he was in good shape for the rail. I took a walk, found some coffee, had a couple large cups, and by the time I made it back, I was good and buzzed up and ready to do my thing. And once again, I got to throw my questions at a lot of very cool people. I got to meet a guy who brought his mother. She was an older lady. I think she was 68 years old. And after hanging out with him and talking for a while, we took a couple pictures. I looked at her and I asked if it was her first show. Every now and then you'll see someone older, a little older than the average age of the crowd. And it often turns out that the parent, after a lifetime of hearing their kid grow up with Metallica music, they hit a point where they want to find out what's going on. So that's normally the case. So I just kind of assumed that it may be her first show. So when I looked at her and asked her, is this your first show? She said something along the lines of, heavens no, this is my 16th show. Or I don't remember the exact number. I think it might have been 16. But I thought that was really cool. Well, later on during the show, at the point where James usually does some interacting with children, he located an older lady on the rail. Her name was Eva. And it turns out the interaction that night, the special fan interaction that night, was with the lady we met outside. That lady was no joke. She made it to the rail that night, stayed there all night. I give her mad props. It was a pleasure meeting her. And right before Metallica came on, I got to meet my friend Brandon. He's got a really cool podcast that I had been listening to leading right up to the Black Ticket. It's called Brandon's Metallicast, and if you look under the video down here, you'll see the link. Brandon's Metallicast. Check it out. It's a really cool show. He does a good job. About a half hour before the band came on, I got a text. I went and I found him. I got to meet him and his wife. We got a couple pictures. We got to hang out just for a few minutes. It was really great to meet you, Brandon. Congrats to you and your wife on the birth of your daughter. You're going to be busy now for the rest of your life, so I hope you still have the time to maintain your podcast and give it the proper attention. We're going to find some time real soon to do something with your show. Again, it was great to meet you, brother. The place was packed. There were a lot of people there. You could feel how anxious they were. And when the Ecstasy of Gold came on, they went nuts. The song of the night was Confusion off of WorldWired. It was the first time we had heard it on the tour. They only played it one other time on the North American tour, North American leg, and that was in Raleigh, so that hadn't happened yet, so it was a real treat to hear that night. I got my 2 guitar picks. Like I said, the crowd was really into it. They really made it a cool place to be. They rocked their city that night, and I was happy to be a part of it. After the show, a good-sized group of us walked on over to the Excelsior pub, as we had told Miss Jennifer we would do. We hung out there for a couple hours. There were a lot of Black Ticket holders there, so we had the chance to say a lot of goodbyes before we headed back to the parking garage. When we got to the garage, we realized the lights were off, there was no attendant, the gate was locked, and my car was stuck inside of the parking garage until the next morning. Now we had a couple of the LA guys with us. I had told them I'd drop them off at their hotel on our way back to ours. It was almost 2 o'clock. It was really cold out there, so they went ahead and ordered an Uber because they had to get to their hotel. They had to get up real early and catch a flight back to California. There was nothing else to do. I got on my phone and I created an Uber account right there in the street, and we ordered one, and a couple minutes later he picked us up and we were heading back to the hotel. As soon as we got in the car, my phone died. The battery was dead. Rob's had been dead for a while, so we just barely made it. We got lucky that night. The next morning I got up, got another Uber back to the garage to get my car, and when I got there I saw the same attendant that was working the previous day. He was just kind of staring at me. He was an older guy. He looked to be at least 70, probably older than that, but you could just tell by looking at him. He was kind of hard. He wasn't going to take any bullshit from anyone for any reason. So I averted the sob story. I just figured I'd pay the overnight rate, which was going to be something like 60 or 70 bucks based on the sign. I wasn't happy about it, but there was nothing I could do. And now I wasn't expecting what happened next to happen. So I got in my car, I backed out, pulled into the lane, and I was sitting there staring right at the hard guy. He looked right at me for a minute and he shook his head. He said, "As soon as I saw your car, I knew what happened. I saw your Illinois plates, so I know you're not from around here. But why didn't you listen to me? I told you. I told you when you came in, make sure you're out of here right after the show, or something like this would happen." And I didn't remember him telling me that until I heard him telling me that he told me. And in that moment, I remembered. That's exactly what he told me when we pulled up. I just looked at him and said, to be honest, I was preoccupied and I hadn't had my coffee yet. And my brain doesn't work without my coffee. So I'm not too worried about it. You know, what's the damage going to be? It won't kill me. I deserve it. I was looking right at him with a big smile on my face. I was laughing at myself, and I think he could tell it. He looked at me as if he were thinking, and he said, "Tell you what, buddy, give me 10 bucks and we'll call it even." That caught me off guard. So I looked at him and I said, "Are you sure? I don't want you to get in trouble on my mistake. It's okay. I'll go ahead and pay it." He just laughed and said, "I'm not going to get in any trouble. Trust me, it's fine." So I said, "How about I give you 10 bucks and 2 beers after work?" And I handed him a 20. And he said, "You got yourself a deal. I'll drink one for you and one for me. Be safe in your travels." I thanked him one final time, pulled out into the road, and headed back to the hotel. And on my trip to the hotel, all I could think about was the lady at the grocery store, the lady that sold me the postcards in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and that little discussion we had about people you get to meet. The guy in the booth at the parking garage, he's just another person that I'll never see again, but I'll probably never forget. My interaction with the guy in the booth, that very cool 3-minute interaction with an unforeseen ending, that was just another gift of the Black Ticket. When I got back to the hotel, we checked out, got our stuff loaded up into the car. We met a couple who was at the show the night before. We hung out with them for a few minutes talking. We jumped in the car and headed over to Ryan's hotel. Ryan had told me a few times that he thought about doing the Albany show because his dad was supposed to be working in Albany, And he was just worried that if his dad got sent somewhere else, after he made his plans, he wouldn't have a ride home. He asked me what route we were taking to Chicago, and he said if he made his plans and got his hotel and ended up in Albany, and something went crazy, which he didn't really think was going to happen, but if his dad got sent somewhere else, he wanted to make sure he had a backup plan. So I just told him, don't even worry about your dad's plans, man. We'll swing by Altoona and give you a ride on the way to Chicago. He was really worried that it was 2 hours out of the way, an hour off the highway each way. I just kind of laughed. I appreciated the concern that he was giving my situation, but 2 hours is nothing. I said, come on, just plan on it. We're taking you home after the show. Don't even worry about your dad. We'll have a good time. It'll be fun. So he agreed, and that's what we plan on doing. So we headed on over, picked him up. It didn't take long to get there, and we hit the road for Altoona. So we had been driving 3 or 4 hours. We were all starting to get hungry. The car was getting hungry too. It needed some gas. We saw some signs that said there was a Burger King and a couple gas stations, so we took the exit, got the fuel, went on in Burger King, got our food, and I'm not sure whose idea it was, which clown's idea it was. It was either Rob or Ryan. But one of them went up to the counter. I think it was Ryan. Went up to the counter and came back with a crown for each of us. So I said, what the hell? We all put our crowns on, and we just started laughing. We looked completely ridiculous. There were quite a few people in the restaurant, and the more we laughed, the more they looked. It started to get a little out of hand, so I went ahead and took my crown off and tried to regain my composure and stop laughing. And Rob said, what are you doing, man? Don't do that. Go have that guy over by the window take our picture. I looked over. We all looked over. Right when he looked up, he looked at us and shook his head. You could just see the look of disgust on his face. He was probably 70, 75-year-old truck driver, and he didn't want no part of us. I looked at Rob and said, yeah, you go ask him to take your picture if you want your ass kicked. And we just all fell out laughing. It really wasn't that funny, but we just couldn't stop laughing. You've been there. You know how that goes. But as far as the whole black ticket experience goes, as far as laughter is concerned, I laughed more in our little meal in Burger King there than I did anywhere else on the tour. We finally finished up, went outside. Right before we got in the car, we all put our crowns on for a picture. Ryan got on and posted it right on the Black Ticket group on Facebook. And it didn't take long, and our friend Dustin Pomeroy evidently had the same idea as we did, because he posted up his picture with his crown. Then right after that, Dustin Stroll chimes in, and he posted a picture of Lars Ulrich wearing a crown. Dustin and his friend decided to wear their crowns right outside. They were right on the rail in front of Lars's tent. So when Lars came down, before he got in his tent, he came over and he put the crown on, and they got a picture. So the picture that you see at the end of the video of Lars in a Burger King crown, Burger King nothing, that was from the State College show. It wasn't from Albany. We just became aware of it due to what we were doing on our way from the Albany show. So another hour or so down the road, we finally hit Altoona. We dropped Ryan off and we headed for Chicago. Now I told Rob later on that evening we could get a hotel and just break the trip up, or if he was down for it, we could just go the distance. We agreed that it's called a road trip for a reason, so we headed straight on through to Chicago. I dropped him off at his place at about 3 a.m. I was really getting tired. I thought about getting a hotel, and finally I said hell with it. But about halfway home, I pulled off in a rest area, slept for a couple hours. I finally arrived in Muscuda about 25 hours after we left Albany. I had traveled a little over 5,100 miles, and although I'd only seen concerts in 4 states, I had traveled through 9 counting Illinois to get to them. My mission was now 40% complete. 14 down, 21 to go. At the end of the first leg, I was kind of bummed out. I felt like I'm probably going to miss this, but at the end of the second leg, I was pretty sad. I did not want to be coming home. I wanted to be going on to the next city. I was going to miss so many people, but it was all going to be okay because I knew in 3.5 weeks we were going to get to do it again. I'd really like to say thanks to so many people for so many things on that second leg, but if I get started with that, we'll be here another hour. I do want to say thank you for watching. If you like what we have going on here, we'd appreciate it greatly if you consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you have, give us a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Let us know how we're doing. Leave us a comment. If you find yourself in one of the videos, please post it to social media and help us grow the project. Next stop, Las Vegas and on to the West Coast. We'll see you there. Until then, rock on. Tell me who you are and where you're from.
My name is Guillermo Lopez. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
My name is Melissa and I'm from Connecticut.
My name is Aline Brosa. I'm from Brazil. I live in Rio. And today I'm here in Albany to the Metallica concert.
My name is Steve Nadon. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
I'm Brian, and I come away from Brooklyn, New York. Came to see Metallica. You hold me. Traveling is not a big deal. It's Metallica.
All right.
Jesse from Clifton Park, New York.
Sean from Monroe, New York.
My name is Jean Froman. I'm from New York.
I'm Marie. I'm from Maine.
How long have you been a Metallica fan?
Well, I've been a Metallica fan pretty much as long as I can remember, really. My older brother grew up playing a bunch of Metallica, and that's just always been in my head. I didn't become like a serious diehard fan until I was about 15.
Oh boy. Well, since a teenager, I'm a legacy member, so I've been in the fan club since '96.
Ooh, you don't look that old.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm a Metallica fan since I was 11 years old. That was in 2011.
Okay. Have you seen them before live?
Yes, my first time was in 2010 in São Paulo. Because they didn't play Brazil since 1990.
Oh.
No, 1999.
Okay.
So I saw them for the first time in 2010 in São Paulo. And today is my concert number 33.
All right. Okay.
Today is my 20th show of Metallica.
That was my next question. You've
I
seen
know,
them
I
before
know.
live.
Yes, sir.
All right. How long have you been a fan?
25 years.
All right.
My first show was 1993 at the Forum of Montreal. Quand James has burned his arms in the stadium. After that, Lars say sorry and come back. I paid the $20 off for the show. It was an amazing night for me. I'm so young. Now I'm very old. Not very old, man. You know, it's an amazing night tonight too.
Yeah. As far as I can remember years, I don't know, maybe probably 5, 10 years. Probably since the Big Four for me. So it was 2010. 8 years maybe? 10 years tops. Or take.
92 was my first show.
Right,
That was the riot.
You don't look that old.
That was the riot in Montreal. And I went there a Guns N' Roses fan, and then I left a Metallica fan.
That's the best thing to be.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to be.
So that was my first.
Excellent answer. So you've seen them live before, all of you.
Yeah, this is show number 2 for me. So
All right.
I haven't gotten out there much.
Oh, you're here now.
Slowly.
That's good stuff.
Slowly but surely.
You got a number? Just as a reference point? How many times have you seen them?
8.
And it's not,
To be honest, 5 times for me. Yeah.
okay, it's not a competition. It's just
No.
tells us where we've been. Yeah.
Beat anyway, so. You got us beat, exactly.
All right.
I've been a Metallica fan since 96.
Since 92?
96.
96?
96, Load Era.
Okay. Have you seen them before live?
Yes, many times. I believe this might be my 22nd show-ish.
Congrats on that. Good.
Since I was 4, about 21 years now.
Wow. Have you seen them before live?
No, first time. Yeah.
You excited? Dumb question.
Yeah. I got, my sister was nice enough to give me her ticket last week. And so I was like, yes.
Do you have a favorite album?
Favorite album, Master of Puppets.
That's my favorite too. Do you have a favorite song?
From the Bell Tolls. That's the song that really just changed it for me, from a casual fan to a super fan. I don't know. It's the reason I play the bass too.
Okay.
It's just I think it's a perfect song.
Justice for All.
Favorite song?
1.
Well, you got them right off the top of your head. Do you have a favorite album? That's a hard question.
Yes, I have. It's right, it's the best one for me.
Hands down. Okay. How about a favorite song?
From Ride Like Me, Scripting Death.
Oh, yeah. I think we heard that last show.
Very powerful to hear it.
Okay.
Master of Puppet is my favorite album.
Me too.
Well, I like every album. You have a magic something inside. My Master of Puppet with the arms of Cliff Burton, Orion is my best song ever.
Well said.
Easy. And just for
Okay.
Yeah, I know I got the shirt, but Master.
Master. Yeah, definitely Master.
Song? Favorite song?
Black. Yeah, I love Black.
Tie between Blackened and Battery, I think.
I had to go old school. Probably Master of Puppets. That was the first song I learned to drum by Metallica. Yeah. Master of Puppets or From the Bell Tolls. It's a talk.
Lightning.
Didn't even have to think about it.
That's
Favorite song?
Favorite song? Oh, Oh, right now it would be Am I Savage?
That's a nice. I haven't heard that one yet.
I'd say And for Justice for All.
Okay, do you have a favorite song?
Favorite song. I know it's just instrumental, but Orion's, it's a good one.
It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite band member, past or present?
That's a tough one. I would say probably Mr. Robert Trujillo. I was always like, because when I got into Metallica, he was like the bassist. I mean, I wasn't around during the Jason and Cliff era. So when I came online, he was a guy. He was a new guy, and I always just liked the style, the little crab walk. I don't know, the way that he plays bass is fucking incredible. And I don't know, I just really like his style. I like his demeanor, and he fucking kicks ass.
Yep, it was Jason Newsted.
So is it still Jason Newsted? He counts.
Still Jason Newsted, but I like Kirk Hammett too.
Yeah, Jason. They're all cool. Jason's really cool too. Do you have a favorite band member, past or present? Okay, Lars. All right.
My favorite human being.
Okay, good answer.
Me, I like James. Everybody like James. Before talking, I went last year, 2 years ago, the meet and greet. I see Lars. Lars is very magic. Can you see them? Yeah, he have 2 minutes with you. He talk to you, and me, I'm very. I don't talk good in English, but he listen to me for 2 minutes. I have along with him. He's a very nice guy of the band, and every meet and greet, Lars is there. I never see Lars. Okay, maybe sometimes he's sick. Really, not a lot. And every time he's go to the meet and greet, is the best. He's the founder of the group. He's very nice for me.
You can say Dave if you want.
I remember it will honestly be James, to be honest. Like idol to me. Everything he's done, really know. Look up to him all the time.
Jason Newsted.
Cool as a shade.
Kirk Hammett, because I'm a guitar player, but Newsted.
Yeah, we're biased.
Cool.
I mean, I'm probably in the same boat. Probably Lars. I think it's because I'm a drummer. I think I have to say Lars.
Kirk.
Always been Kirk.
Always been Kirk.
Oh, well, I mean, James Hetfield. You gotta give it to him.
What do you think about Jim Brewer?
Jim Brewer?
Yeah, what did you think before you saw him, and now what do you think about him?
Well, before I actually saw him in person, I thought he was pretty cool because I saw like clips online. I knew he does like, he's really into the metal scene and things like that. So I thought he was a cool guy. And then afterwards, when I actually saw him himself, I mean, I love him. He's a solid dude. I mean, he's fucking funny and he gets it, you know?
Yeah, what about Joe, his sidekick?
Joe, I mean, he does good. He does good with the music.
Yep.
I can't fault for that. But.
Well, I did see them in Philly, so I saw Jim Brewer. It was okay, but I will say, this is my 12th Metallica show, so having been to Metallica shows previously, I've been exposed to certain bands I became fans of for opening for Metallica, Volbeat being one of them. So I probably would say I prefer an opening band, but...
That's a fair answer.
It's not my kind of humor. It's not the kind of humor we have in Brazil.
Well, that makes
I don't
sense.
really like it.
Okay, that's an honest answer.
I prefer when we have bands as an opening act.
Okay.
I don't know a lot of this guy. It's the first time I'm going to see him tonight. I don't know. I see my friend is going to the show, go to the stage with him. I'm going to see tonight. Actually, I don't know a lot of this.
Remain open-minded.
Yeah, it's all right for tonight.
Okay.
Last year I do 3 shows. I see Volbeat and Avenge. It's very nice. Tonight is different story.
I think it's good. I just found out about it literally today because I didn't even know, and I'm excited. I love Jim Brewer. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I seen him a couple months back in Albany at a small comedy club. It was fucking funny, very funny.
It's just like the first time I see him. I've never heard about him before. It's gonna be fun. He's funny as hell.
Was Joe with him on that tour? Joe Sib?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I know he just did a lot of his metal impressions.
Yeah.
AC/DC.
That's great.
Oh, great. I think it's a unique unique idea. I think he's been doing great. You know, it's really tough to pull off a set like this for the amount of time, so he's doing good.
I have no feeling about it, I guess.
Open-minded, you're okay?
Yeah, sure.
Check it out?
Yeah.
All right, well, you already answered the one question. Your brother is, who turned you on to the band in the first place?
Oh yeah, my brother, my older brother. I mean, he always grew up listening to like all of this rock music, and Metallica is always just one of those bands that kind of I gravitated towards whatever he would play.
I kind of just fell into them, but maybe one of my old high school friends, Melanie.
One person.
No.
No?
No, it's covered alone because my family, there's no one that like have metal.
Okay.
I was listening to radios with friends.
My closest best friend. People like to see us.
Okay.
My sister Amy.
I think I got nobody. It's just me. Self-driven Metallica fan.
That's awesome.
My father, I mean, he introduced them, but I wasn't really like a fan of just kind of a song here or there. But yeah, I think it's just me.
No, just saw a video on MTV and that was it.
Kind of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Right on.
My older sister, Christine. Yeah. She
All right.
got me listening to it at 4, so
That's a cool older sister.
yeah, she's awesome.
We come from all walks of life as Metallica fans. What do you do for a living?
Right now, I'm a student and I work part-time. I'm a college kid.
What's your major?
Business marketing.
Marketing?
Yeah, marketing.
You're going to do well.
I actually work in social services, so
All right.
ironic.
I work in a courthouse.
So my work, what?
Yeah,
my
your work?
I'm working at the food store. Long
Okay.
time ago, yeah. So, Montreal Street, and I like what I'm doing. And to eat, every people who eat, you have a work. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you sell clothes. You're going to buy a jean.
Yes.
You're going to see the guy one time. Can you eat banana? Food store.
You're
You
going
see
back.
the people come back.
Yeah.
Like every people do. I'm this way. He's my way.
Yep. I just like to find out what everybody
Yeah.
does.
Right now I'm working construction, no framing, but after that, when I get out, I start working street jobs. So that's looking. Now it's fun.
I teach music, and I'm a videographer.
I work in retail.
Hey.
I'm a shift supervisor at Home Depot.
All right.
2 years now, so going strong.
I do marketing for a large consulting firm.
I'm an EMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we got an EMT yet. We got
no?
one now. If the band members themselves happen to see this, do you have a message for them?
Thank you. That's pretty much all I can say. Thank you so much. You have no idea what you guys mean to me and how much you guys have helped me throughout my whole life. And just thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do. Your music is meditation and therapy for lots of us, and thank you for doing what you do, continuing to do what you do. You sacrifice a lot, being away from your family and friends, and the Metallica family really appreciates it and loves you, and thank you.
I just had a meet and greet the last concert in Buffalo,
So you gave them your message.
and I think I was a little bit retarded because it's surreal to see them alive. Oh my God, they really exist.
You had a good time though? You got to meet Lars?
I forgot to say to Lars that we want to hear Don't Forgive Me Too in a concert, please.
If the band sees this,
Yeah.
do you have a message for them?
Yeah, I love this band for 25 years. It's my favorite band ever. I spend a lot of money on this band. See, I like this music. I grew up with this music. Thank you very much, and enjoy the show tonight. To Albany is my first time in the United States, and I'm very proud of tonight's show.
Out of Lars, man, I don't know. Probably thank you, Lars, for throwing me a drumstick and coming back the second time after the security guard stole the first one from me. Yeah, I had a sign when we went to the MetLife show. I held up the sign, and Lars came over and pointed to me, threw it to me, and it hit my hand and fell over. And the security guard's like, I can't touch it. And I was like, you sure? And then the lights went on, he picked it up, put it in his pocket, and walked away. So at the end of the show, he came back out and I still had the sign. And a lot of people were pointing to me. He's like, "Where'd the other one go?" I'm like, "I didn't get it." And he's like, "I got you this one." So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks as well. You know, it brings all the people together. Everybody comes from all ages, walks of life, and it's just a great experience.
Meeting new friends.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks to them. Thanks to them, we make new friends out here, and then bring us all together and enjoy this. Thank you for making all these awesome visits. Continue on. I'm ultimately a fan.
Keep doing what you're doing as long as you love it.
If the band members themselves should happen to see this at some point, do you have a message for them?
I've been listening to your music forever, and I absolutely love it, and it's made life easier. I'll say that.
All right, this one goes out to all those who serve. Come on home, baby. That's right. That felt pretty good. I fucked up one little part, though. It's okay. It's a unique show. No one heard it anyway. I'll come get it. Albany, are you out there? Okay. Whew.